What's up, guys? It's Kara here, and I'm doing a video today to talk a little bit about suit selection for those that are looking to compete, or maybe you've competed before and you're just kind of like not sure what's right for you. So I wanted to do a video talking about this. I figured it was the perfect time because it's January now. A lot of people are starting their preps for spring season, or will be shortly. So now is the time to start considering what suit best fits your body. I will eventually focus more on bikini and bikini suits because that's what I have to show you guys. But for those males out there as well, or females competing in other divisions, I do want to start by just giving some general tips on where to start with suit selection. So the first thing I will say is, depending on what organization you're planning on competing in, that would be my first suggestion to you is check out the organization's their website, and see what, if any, information they do have listed regarding their requirements with suits. I started competing in 2011, and I feel like it was a bit more strict. Not necessarily strict, but I feel like things have changed since then, and at least in terms of all organizations in all divisions within bodybuilding, I feel like they're fairly similar. If you compete at a natural level versus NPC, or say you're already pro and competing in the pro leagues, I do find they're fairly similar with what they're looking for in terms of bikini, figure, physique, bodybuilding, etc. So that does make it a little bit easier in case you are changing organizations, as I did. I went from MPC to OCB. So it is nice that you can find the similarities there in case you want to jump around. But to be safe, check the website, see if there's any specifics there regarding that. There used to be, I heard some rumors about the shoes with bikini competitors or figure. A few years ago when I competed, that they were going to make some regulations about the shoes and the actual heel size that the girls wear. And then you never saw anything online specifically stating it. It was never really put into place. So that's always going to be your best source of information, is that organization. So while I'm giving you tips, always please double check for your organization. So my next tip would be, obviously, color, I think, is huge, and this is something that the judges will critique you on regardless of what division you're competing in. You need to choose a color that really complements you the best and also helps you stand out. Now, there are only so many colors. You may go to a show, and like the last show I did, 5 girls had purple bikinis on. It was just a very popular color. It doesn't mean you won't still stand out. You don't have to go like with 18 different colors on your suit, although you can, but it's really up to you to find the color that best suits your look, and also in general makes you feel sexy and beautiful and confident. So everyone and their brother will give you feedback on what color you should wear, but you really need to choose what best makes you feel confident. And we all have a little something different that makes us feel good. So choose the color that you think is going to make you feel, super confident on show day and that you think you look good in. But with that being said, you need to remember what color might look good on me, and in my skin tone right now, it's going to look a little bit different when you have that dark Competiton spray tan on. So don't just pick a color that suits you right now with your pasty white skin in the wintertime. Think about that dark spray tan. So you're going to want to know what spray tan company is spraying you, because different spray tan companies produce a different looking spray tan. You may see in the natural leagues people use Dream Tan, and that makes you a little bit gold. And then Liquid Sunrays, I feel like, is a nice bronze. Those tans are going to make a difference with the suit color you choose. So try to think about that. I personally don't like the look of an orange bikini on stage. I mean, how many people do you see wearing orange suits on stage? Doesn't necessarily mesh well with the dark tan because it's got that orangey tint to it. You can kind of just get all washed out. Just my personal opinion, but do think about the dark spray tan and what colors look good on you. Maybe even go and get a dark spray tan ahead of time if you really are that committed to assess the colors that look good on you. But just think about what your hair color is going to look like on stage. Guys and girls tend to change your hair, the color, the cut, things like that coming into the competition. So think about that. If I'm a blonde versus having really dark, almost jet black hair, that makes a difference in the colors of the suits that I want to wear on stage. So all that plays into it. And then bottom line, I already mentioned this, but just pick a suit that makes you feel good. End of the day, that's what matters. Like I said, you're going to get some judges' critique possibly, and you can ask them for it if they don't mention it. See if what they think about your suit, the color. I think this is big for physique guys as well. I mean, they're all just wearing board shorts, right? It's the same cut for the most part. You wouldn't think it'd make that much of a difference, but I've seen a lot of physique competitors that I follow that changing up their short color makes a difference whether they pop on stage or not. So you really want to do your research, look at past competitions, see what people are wearing who place higher. That might be a way to assess as well. And definitely keep in mind what makes you feel confident and sexy. For those guys too, you got to feel sexy out there. So I want to get into bikini suit selection because after my past 2 competitions I did, people noticed I wore a different suit for my OCB competition, and I had tons and tons of compliments on my bikini cut, and a lot of people were asking me what cut I wore because they really liked it. So I want to talk a little bit about my bikinis and give you guys some information. So as you know, I do represent Angel Competition bikinis. They are amazing, and they have sent me a few different suits that I'm going to show you and talk about some of the differences. One thing I would recommend you doing, Angel Competition bikinis makes bikini suits and figure suits and physique suits for females. So guys, if you need tips on where to get male suits from, comment below and I can give you some recommendations. But for the females out there, I do recommend you follow them on Instagram. It's just Angel Competition Bikinis, and that is their website as well. If you're not sure where to start, the best tip I can tell you is just to start looking at people. Follow their social media site and just start scrolling through and look at people. I tend to look at people who I feel like look kind of similar to me in terms of their bodies. And also in terms of haircut, color, and complexion, because that's going to kind of give you the best idea of how a color would look on you. So that's one thing you can do, is start scrolling through just to get ideas, see what you like, see what excites you. And that's actually how I found Angel Competition bikinis. I found this suit that I was like, it just kind of got me excited to wear it and get on stage. And that's kind of when you know if something excites you, you want to have that feeling inside of you. The other thing you can do with Angel Competition bikinis, if you go on their website, they will send you different swatches, is that the word? I think that's a word, of fabric. So they make different types of fabric. It's not just about the color, it's about the fabric. Some is like shiny and some's not, and all those good things. So if you're unsure and you have the time to play around with it, you can request those different swatches of fabric to kind of get an idea of what you like or don't like. So let me show you some of the suits. A few things you need to consider with a bikini suit are, number 1, the cut of the bikini. Number 2, you need to think about the your cup size, and you need to think about your suit connectors and what style you're going to pick, in addition to the color and how you're going to style it with all the sparkles and crystals. So there's a lot to consider. Like I said though, don't stress it. At the end of the day, I personally don't feel like a competition suit alone will make or break you in terms of how you place, but what I will say is it can really assist with you standing out and feeling confident. And if you're not feeling confident in what you're wearing, that's going to show and impact how you place. So it's not the only factor, but your suit selection, you do need to prioritize it, and you have to put a little work into it. So let me show you the first suit I got from them is this beautiful white suit. This suit has, I don't know the names of the connectors, but I just want to show you the connectors on this are gorgeous. It's got a double strand here that's connected with 4 other single strands below it. You may have seen it in a couple of my videos. This is a thicker connector than some of the others that they have available. And the back side of this is all sparkled out. I like mine super sparkly. Again, it's just a preference, so it's up to you. But the back side is all sparkly. This is their Brazilian cut. They have 3 different cuts for bikini. One is moderate coverage. I would not suggest moderate coverage for a competition. I don't think it shows off enough of your glutes. However, it's up to you on what you personally feel comfortable with. So if you're a female that doesn't feel comfortable showing off more of the butt cheek and more of the rump, then that might be best suited for you. This is, like I said, the Brazilian cut, so it does have moderate coverage to it, but it shows enough of your glutes where you can see them. With this cut, I do want to say a couple things. The connectors themselves I felt were gorgeous. However, I carry a lot of my weight in my lower body. I feel like for how tall I am, I have a long torso and I have short little legs that tend to look a little thicker on stage. I felt like the thicker cut on these connectors didn't suit my body type as well. As gorgeous as this is, I would suggest the thicker connectors for someone that maybe doesn't have as much curve to their lower body. So maybe you're a bikini competitor with really thin little legs, maybe not, a lot of females sometimes who compete, you don't have a ton of mass on your lower body. I feel like something like this might help snazz it up a bit. I do feel like this looks better on someone who has a leaner, teenier lower body. So that's just one option and one thing I noticed. I would not necessarily suggest a thicker band for us thicker ladies down below. Now, in terms of the coverage, I also got my green competition bikini. This has different suit connectors as well. This is the 3 single strand, which I loved. It was gorgeous. You guys have seen me wear that in videos. The cut is also similar in the back. This is what I wore on stage for my first competition. This is the Brazilian cut that I spoke about. I personally like a smaller cut on my glutes. Again, for me, I have a thicker lower body, and I felt like it didn't show off my glutes enough for how I wanted it to. It was not feedback from the judges. The judges thought my suit was incredible. They thought my whole stage look was good, but I just felt like showing a little bit more glute because of my lower body being a bit thicker helped with balancing out my body. And bikini and bodybuilding is all about symmetry, so you have to go with what works for your body. So take progress pictures and see how you're looking in your suits. And that was one observation I made. And I talked to Kara and Lauren at Angel Competition Bikinis, and they agreed with me. They were like, you're right, you probably want to go with a smaller cut than this suit. So for my next suit that I wore at my last competition, I went with the Pro Cut. So the Pro Cut, I'm not sure if you can tell, but significantly smaller than the last one I just showed you. It has about 1 inch less coverage on each side. I thought this made my booty look phenomenal. This is kind of what I was looking for, and I do feel like it helped balance me out a bit more. But you can tell it's a little bit teenier. So you must, you have to go with what you feel comfortable with. However, this for me, I feel like made me look the best on stage. I did just get asked this question today, if that suit style, that cut is acceptable for the natural organizations, and it is. I wore that for OCB and they had no issues with the coverage on the suit. Again, check the website, but if you're also concerned, check with the show promoter and who's actually promoting and head judging the show, because the head judge, you may find sometimes, depending on the show, they may have a preference for what they like to see. So another tip that I do is bring a second suit with you. If you are fortunate enough to have more than one suit, as I am, I sometimes bring backup just to be safe, because you never know. So to go back to the connectors again, this one was a little bit different. I went with the single strand connector on this purple suit. So I've shown you guys 3 different connectors. Again, it's a little bit of personal preference, and it's a little bit of learning what looks best on your body. I thought the 3 strand looked nice on my body, but I prefer, I think, a solid strand for my connector on the lower half, based on my lower body just being a little thicker. So I think play around with it. and take a look at the options. There's plenty more than what I've just shown you for the bottom connectors, but just kind of try to think about what is going to suit your body best. I just want to talk about the tops a bit, because the tops, again, you're going to also need to select a connector. So you're going to select a connector that connects to the top cup, as well as some type of connector that goes in the middle of your suit. These are just minor fun details to play around with and pick your suit and create it to be its own. This connector is like a double strand here. And then my other two suits, I picked the same. I just picked, let me show you the purple one, the single strand. I kind of like to make the top and match bottom. Most people do that. And I think I'm just a little more simple, and I tend to go with like a simple strand just kind of suits me a little bit better, but they have tons of different ones you can choose. Let me use the purple one here to show you. In terms of cup size, again, this is huge. Well, my cups are not huge, but you need to think about what your bra size is, and if you're naturally chested. That's a thing, right? Naturally chested? Naturally breasted, like myself. Think about what cup size is going to help push the girls up a bit. You know what I'm saying? So maybe you don't need that help if you've had an augmentation. Again, with balancing the body, for me, I need to balance out. My lower body's always got a little bit going on more than my upper half. So I like to give the illusion of having a little bit more in the girls department. You guys can check out my separate video I have on stuffing the bra top. But what I would suggest, for me, I went with an A cup, and a lot of girls that wear a B cup, I think, would naturally choose to get a B cup bikini size. However, it does look better if your boobs are slightly out of your bikini top. You kind of want them pushed up, and you want to be showing them a little bit. It makes things, I can't stop doing that. It makes things look more balanced. If you've watched bikini competitor videos or any of mine, you can kind of see that. It gives that nice illusion of better symmetry when you're a little more well endowed up top. So for those girls with a B cup, if you're naturally chested, I'm gonna keep saying that, I might suggest you go with an A cup. That's what I did, and I felt like it looked better because you could see some of my breast. But again, it's personal preference and what you feel comfortable with. If you don't feel comfortable with showing anything, keep the ladies in there and keep it locked up, you know, but totally up to you. So you can work with Kara and Lauren on your selection of your top and bottom size. They will help you out with that. They'd probably be more than willing to assist you if you sent them some photos. She helped me out a bit. I gave her my stats, what I weighed, my height, all that stuff to kind of choose the size that fit me the best. And in terms of the bottoms fitting you, I know people worry about this because you want to order your suit in enough time to be able to try it on, pose with it, and know that it looks good. During that process, you're leaning out, right, and losing weight. So that's always kind of, you know, that fine line of ordering something that's going to look great on you on show day, but also fit you well enough ahead of time. What Angel Competition bikinis can do is they will add some extra fabric to the bottom of your suit if you need it. So what that allows you to do is if you order it a little bit tighter, it can always be taken out. You could go to any seamstress and have it taken out a little bit. I've actually had mine tightened up before too by this sweet little old lady who had no idea why I was wearing a suit that looked like that. Pretty sure she thought I was a stripper, but she did it anyway. So don't freak out. Have an estimate of what you want to weigh on show day, and while it's kind of a guessing game, I have not had any issues with any of their suits fitting me on show day, especially that pro cut. I really, really liked. Hug the glutes nice. All the girls were running around putting that bikini bite on their butt, which I hate using because I feel like it just gets so sticky and tacky on your suit. I didn't need it. That pro cut suit, it just hugged those glutes and it stuck right there. I didn't have to worry about it moving around and shifting. So I don't know, it worked very well for me, and I kind of have a good idea of what I weigh on stage day. And what's nice about working with Angel Competition bikinis a few times now, they have a good idea of how my body looks as well. So it makes it easier to kind of get that suit on point. I think I've shown everything. Again, the amount of crystals, the color of crystals, again, those are other options you have to choose from doing all white, crystal trim on the outside. I personally prefer a super sparkly suit. That's what excites me. That's what makes me feel pretty and glamorous, especially because you're considering you're under these super bright lights on stage. So while you might like the way a suit looks, looking at it in a photo, you want to look at how suits look when they're on stage under those lights. So look at YouTube videos of bikini competitors to get an idea how things look. I really, really wanted a sparkly suit, and you guys can look at my videos. I feel like this really popped on stage. So while other girls were wearing a purple suit, I went so sparkly that I just felt like the lights hit me and things shined, and it just looked really pretty and classy and glamorous. So up to you though. You could go with a plain suit, you could do multicolors. I'm not gonna spend more time rambling on about it because sky's the limit, and it's really just up to you and what excites you. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope it gave you some good information to kind of start things up. Plug in Kara and you will get that free set of jewelry, and you'll be all set to go for show day. So hopefully you found this helpful. Please comment below with any other questions you have on suit selection and things of that nature. I'd be glad to help you out. Hit that like button if you did like this video, and keep checking back for more. Perfect. And it just works out better for me to train fasted. So I got home and now I'm gonna make like one of my versions of my egg white pancakes that I really like. I posted this on Instagram a while ago, and I don't think I've actually shown it on film before, but what it entails is just a half a scoop of 18 grams of the pumpkin pie MTS whey. I did 150 grams of egg whites. I did 2 tablespoons of coconut flour,